Welcome into the Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's YouTube video, we're going to take a dive into the latest free agency buzz from the NFL Combine. You know, it's that time of the year. There's few and far between, but where all the reporters are kind of all together in one area for about 4 or 5 days, and ESPN Plus did an awesome article kind of recapping everything for every team, and I'll tell you where the Baltimore Ravens sit about a week out from free agency beginning. So today, the news we're talking about is apparently the Ravens and Ronnie Stanley can agree on an extension in the coming days. That's what Granziano, Fowler, all those guys had to talk about. We're going to talk all about Ronnie Stanley, his injury history, what his future might be with the Baltimore Ravens in just a little bit. But I just want to start off by saying this is really exciting, okay? Left tackles are very hard to find. He had a fantastic season, in my opinion, one of the best in his career. He was healthy for the entirety of it, and I believe that if Baltimore can lock him down in free agency, that would be a massive move. We got more to talk about, but I got to point out real quick, okay? ESPN makes you pay $120 a year for ESPN Plus. And today, we're giving you this content for 100% free, okay? Does not cost you a dime. All I ask of you guys is to hit that subscribe button, okay? Lock us in. Join us every single day for the best coverage you're going to find on the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, ESPN Plus charges you $120 a year. We're giving it to you for 100% free. Lock us in. Hit that sub button. So let's talk Ravens salary cap before we talk about potential moves in free agency. Because right now, they've gone down a couple of spots. They sit at actually 24th among the 32 National Football League teams in their cap space. Spotrac has the Ravens listed around $11.25 million. And you ask, Joey, why'd that go up? How'd that go up? Well, it's because the NFL salary cap late last week got officially set at $279.20 million. So when that goes up, every team's money does as well. Let's hear what Jeremy Fowler had to say on the Ravens and Ronnie Stanley. He said the sense out of Indy is that the Ravens and left tackle Ronnie Stanley can agree to terms of an extension in the coming days. That's hardly a slam dunk, but there's a sentiment to try to make that happen. Some inside the league are projecting that deal to land somewhere between $21 to $23 million per year. And like I said, kind of off the top, guys, it's really hard if you have that left tackle position, to just let a guy like that walk, okay? Ask the Washington Commanders if they regret letting a guy like Trent Williams walk, okay? Now, I'm not saying Ronnie Stanley is the same exact tackle that Trent Williams is. However, what he meant to this team in 2024 was a ton, okay? I know the criteria. I know the critique. Right? I know what you guys are saying. Joey, it was his first non-injured season in like the last 5 years. I don't want to pay him $23 million. Guys, when you have a really, really good left tackle, letting him leave your building, when you're trying to compete for a Super Bowl, when you have your franchise quarterback, in my opinion, it's not very smart to do. Okay, and Eric DeCosta agrees with me because he spoke to the media at the NFL Combine. They were asked about Ronnie Stanley, and he was rather optimistic about him being re-signed to the Baltimore Ravens.
Well, Ronnie and I did a deal the last time, so that's great. He and I have a good friendship. We've known each other for a long time. He's got a great agent in Kim Miale. You never want to say 100%, but I feel good that we'll have a good, healthy debate, a good process. We're going to meet with Kim in Indy this week, and I'm optimistic that we'll be able to get a deal done.
DeCosta talked, I talked, now it's your turn to talk. Let me know in the comment section down below, what should the Ravens do? Should they re-sign or should they let walk? Give me your answer in the comment section. So when you look at the PFF grades, it was a pretty good year, right? I'm not going to get out there and say, like I said off the top, I'm not comparing him to a guy like Trent Williams, okay? 71 grade overall, that's top 40 in the NFL. His pass blocking, really, really good. Almost top 20. 21st of 141. His run blocking grade, not that great. But again, when you're a left tackle for a mobile quarterback, that's not really what we're asking you to do. Okay? You're kind of just saying, hey, protect the quarterback's blind side. Make sure he doesn't get injured. And Ronnie Stanley did a great job of that in 2024. However, the biggest question to him is that availability. Okay? You look over his career. He was pretty available, especially that stretch of 3 years between 2017 and 2019. But then it's when you look at 2020 through 2022 when you see, okay, he played only 18 games in 3 seasons. But then you look at the last 2 years, even the last 3 years, he's played more than 10 in each of them, and he played all 17 in 2024. And I will admit, okay, it is a risk re-signing a guy, paying a guy of his age that much money, $20 to $23 million. That's a risk. But in my opinion, it's worth it, okay? This team isn't very far from a Super Bowl, okay? And you went into 2024, there was a lot of question marks about this offensive line. Why did we let Zietler walk? Why did we let Moses walk, right? Why did we let any of those guys go? Well, why do you expect to let him walk and those questions not still be there and there not be that big of a difference from year to year? Okay? Because if you do, sure, some guys might be able to pick up the slack, but it's a big question mark. Another question mark is exactly what I was talking about, right? What happens if the Ravens don't re-sign him? Because that's still a possibility. Another team like the Washington Commanders who need offensive line and who are much better off in the cap space world of things can just money whip him. Say, you know what? Let's give you $24 million. That's $3 million more, $2 million more than Baltimore's going to give you. Why don't you come over here? Okay, so what happens if they don't re-sign him? That begs the next question. Can Rosengarten make that jump to left tackle? Funny thing is John Harbaugh was asked this question over at the Combine, and he said, you know what? I'm really confident. He didn't even think twice about it. He was really, really, really sure that Roger Rosengarten in year 2, if needed, could make that jump from right tackle to left. And I kind of side with John Harbaugh. I personally would be confident in Rosengarten if he had to make that jump. What we saw Roger Rosengarten do, especially towards the tail end of the season, making guys like Myles Garrett, making guys like TJ Watt, both in week 17 and in the first round of the playoff, just an absolute non-factor. That's really hard to do. TJ Watt is one of the, if not the best edge rusher in this game. And going up against a guy who looks as jolly as anybody in the world, right? Does not look that menacing. Looks like a big old teddy bear. He held his own and then some, okay? So I'd have all the confidence in the world that he can make that jump to left tackle. Be honest with me, though. What is your confidence level in Roger Rosengarten? Mine's high. Mine's probably sitting somewhere around an 8 or 9. You let me know yours. Scale it 1 to 10 in the comment section. So coming up, we got a little bit more on the left tackle situation, okay? So Ronnie makes the jump, if Ronnie makes the jump to another team in free agency and Roger goes to left tackle, who do you have to fill in him? I'll answer that in just a second. Before that, we got to talk about what Fanatics is offering right now because you can get, you can get that amazing t-shirt for 33% off, okay? I know as the temperature rises, you want your swag levels to rise as well. And you want the layers to come off. And so this is the perfect thing to be wearing around the city, showing your pride for the Baltimore Ravens, showing your love for the Baltimore Ravens. Got a little bit of that purple rising look to it. It was $30. It's now $20. You're not going to find a better deal right now. So go to chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt. Again, chatsports.com/Ravens t-shirt. Again, you can find that link in the comments and description of today's video. Was 30, now 20. Go and get you one. So let's look at the offensive tackle rankings for this upcoming NFL draft. Will Campbell, Calvin Banks Jr. are two guys that I don't think there's really a chance that they'll be available come pick number 27. Josh Simmons might be. I'd be surprised. He could be because of how high that Armand Mimbo, the left tackle out of Mizzou, has been rising since the combine. But when I look at number 4, Josh Connerly Jr., that's a guy that I would not be surprised at all if he fell to number 27. Okay? I've done a decent bit of mock drafts, and there's been a good amount where he's been there. He's been available to pick at that number. And I'd be pretty confident in him stepping in there and being a right tackle if Roger Rosengarten makes the jump to left tackle. But let's end this video where we started, talking about re-signing Ronnie Stanley. And a big part of it, basically the only part of it, is the money aspect. People are telling me, Joey, it's impossible. He costs too much money. Hush! Quiet! Okay, because there's 5 things right there like we've talked about in a recent video. You do all those 5 things, which are 5 very easy things to do. You get $50 million in cap space. And that's even more now with the adjusted cap. That's about $53 million in cap space, okay? So that is possible. It's possible to get that money. I promise you. So my take on this whole thing is if the Ravens re-sign Ronnie, I would honestly count them out from doing anything else big in free agency. This is going to be their big swing, is re-signing their left tackle. Okay, other than that, you might see some extensions for Derrick Henry. Maybe the biggest thing they could do is a trade with Mark Andrews. That's something I could see happening. Other than that, if they re-sign Ronnie, I'd count them out for doing anything big, making any big splashes over the next few months. What say you? Let me know in the comment section. Percent chance that the Ravens re-sign Stanley. Scale it for me 1 to 100. 1 you're saying not going to happen. 100% saying 100% going to happen. Let me know your answer. As always, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate every single one of you guys who tune in daily to us right here at the Ravens Rundown. For the best coverage you're going to find anywhere else on this platform, make sure you guys hit that sub button.